Once upon a time, the world was dark. People looked at photographs that trapped time in a single frame and sighed, if only it could move. For centuries, humanity had been telling stories, and finally, it learned to move light itself. It was 1895. In a small café in Paris, a few curious people fixed their eyes on a white screen. The Lumière brothers were showing a short film with their newly invented cinematograph. A train entering the station, workers getting off, people laughing. But as the train seemed to approach the screen, the audience panicked and stepped back, as if it were really coming toward them. That moment went down in history. Humanity had captured time for the first time. At the same time, one person was looking at cinema with a completely different perspective, Georges Méliès, a magician, a dreamer. He saw the camera not just as a machine that recorded reality, but as a window that could show dreams. In his 1902 film, A Trip to the Moon, when the famous rocket struck the moon's eye, cinema felt its magic for the first time. Film was no longer just a document. It had become a dream. By the early 1900s, cinema had moved out of the fairgrounds and into the city halls. Small theater stages began to fill with white screens. In the west of America, a city famous for its sunshine was rapidly rising: Hollywood. Los Angeles was tailor-made for filmmakers. The weather was always fine, taxes were low, and the scenery suited every genre. In a short time, cinema evolved from a hobby into an industry. In 1915, D.W. Griffith completely changed the direction of cinema with the birth of a nation. Close-ups, cuts, parallel editing. Now the audience was not just watching, they were also feeling. For the first time in cinema, the language of emotion was created. But there was a dark side to this revolution. The film glorified racism. Griffith's success demonstrated just how powerful a weapon cinema could be. A film could even shape a nation's thinking. When the First World War ended, Europe lay in ruins. But from those ruins, a new cinema was born, a darker, more introspective cinema. Expressionism flourished in Germany. The sets were crooked, the shadows enormous, the characters on the brink of madness. Dr. Caligari's Cabinet, 1920, and Nosferatu, 1922, brought the fears created by the war to the screen. The dark side of the human soul was being illuminated for the first time. Meanwhile, another revolution was taking place in Russia. Sergei Eisenstein discovered a way to create new meanings by stringing images together. Montage theory. The scene of a baby carriage rolling down the stairs in the arms of a mother on the Potemkin battleship was not just a scene, it was a metaphor. Cinema now produced thought, conveyed ideas. The camera had become the language of ideology. By the mid-1920s, Hollywood had become a giant. Paramount, MGM, Warner Brothers. They produced not only films, but also stars. When Charlie Chaplin took his cane and stepped out onto the streets, millions of people were laughing and crying at the same time. Greta Garbo filled the screen with a single glance. She was silent, but every expression spoke volumes. Western films, gangster films, romantic dramas, each gave birth to its own genre in cinema. Hollywood was no longer just a city, it was a dream. It was a dream factory. People watched their hopes, fears and longings unfold on the silver screen. By 1927, one of the greatest transformations in cinema history had taken place. The Jazz Singer was released, and Al Jolson turned to the camera and said, wait a minute. You ain't heard nothing yet." The audience was stunned. A film character was speaking. Silent cinema suddenly became history, but the voice of cinema was born. Many stars disappeared into silence, but art continued to progress. because cinema, like humanity, knew how to reinvent itself in every era. In just 30 years, cinema has gone from fairground tents to huge studios. It has transformed from silence to sound, from recording reality to showing dreams. This new art form, which once merely cast shadows, had now become a mirror of the human soul. And in that mirror, we saw both our fears and our hopes. The lights dimmed, but the curtain did not fall, because the cinema's story had not yet ended.